mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, keep your aspiration ardent and sincere, and never forget that you are the child of the Divine. It will prevent you from doing anything unworthy of the Divine children. With always our love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Sri Aurobindo's Savitri. Book 3, the Book of the Divine Mother, Canto 3, the House of the Spirit and the New Creation, page 374. This darkness hides a nobler destiny, a chrysalis of a great and glorious truth. It stifles the winged marvel in its sheath, lest from the prison of matter it escape, and wasting its beauty on the formless vast, merged into the unknowable's mystery, leave unfulfilled the world's miraculous fate. As yet thought only some high spirit's dream, or a vexed illusion in man's toiling mind, a new creation from the old shall arise, a knowledge inarticulate finds speech, beauty surpassed burst into paradise bloom, pleasure and pain dive into absolute bliss. A tongueless oracle shall speak at last, the superconscient conscious grow on earth, the eternal's wonders join the dance of time, but now all seemed a vainly teeming vast, upheld by a deluded energy. To a spectator, self-absorbed and mute, careless of the unmeaning show he watched, regarding the bizarre procession pass, like one who waits for an unexpected end. He saw a world that is from a world to be. There he divined rather than saw or felt, far off the rim of consciousness, transient and frail, this little brilliant globe, and on it left like a lost dream's vain mould, a fragile copy of the spirit's shell, his body gathered into mystic sleep, a foreign shape it seemed, a mystic shade. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, Volume 12, page 179, Sri Aurobindo's message. The powers of our mind, life, and body are bound to their own limitations, and however high they may rise or however widely expand, they cannot rise above their natural ultimate limits or expand beyond them. But still, mental man can open to what is beyond man and call down a supramental light, power, and truth to work in him and to do what the mind cannot do. If mind cannot, by effort, become what is beyond mind, supermind can descend and transform mind into its own substance, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo.
The world is preparing for a big change. Will you help?
Words of our Divine Mother taken from the collective works of our Divine Mother, volume 13, page 16. Our Divine Mother says, this year is consecrated to Lord Sri Aurobindo. To understand his teaching better and try to put it into practice is certainly the best way of showing our gratitude to him for all the light, knowledge, and force which he has so generously brought to the earth. May his teaching enlighten and guide us, and what we cannot do today, we shall do tomorrow. Let us take the right attitude in all sincerity, and it will be truly a great year, says our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, this opens new horizons to you. There is a state, says our Divine Mother, in which one realizes that the effect of things, circumstances, and all the moments and actions of life on the consciousness depends almost exclusively upon one's attitude to these things. There is a moment when one becomes sufficiently conscious to realize that things in themselves are truly neither good nor bad. They are such only in relation to us. Their effect on us depends absolutely upon the attitude we have towards them. The same thing, identically the same, if we take it as a gift of God, as a divine grace, as the result of the full harmony, help us to become more conscious, stronger, more true, while if we take it exactly the same circumstance, as a blow from fate, as a bad force wanting to affect us, this constricts us, weighs us down, and takes away from us all consciousness and strength and harmony. And the circumstance in itself is exactly the same. Of this, I wish all of you had this experience, for when you have it, you become master of yourself. Not only master of yourself, but in what concerns you, master of the circumstances of your life. And this depends exclusively upon the attitude you take it. It is not an experience that occurs in the head, though it begins there, but an experience which can occur in the body itself. This opens new horizons to you. It is the path, it is the one step on the path leading towards transformation. Question, sweet mother, what is the right attitude? For this, our Divine Mother says, it depends on the case, my child. The right spirit is the will to perfect oneself, or the will to be calm, or it depends, you see, on the circumstances. It means that in each circumstance there is a spirit which is the suitable spirit, the one that you ought to have, the attitude you must inwardly take. It depends on the case. For example, you see, as soon as one feels a wave of physical disequilibrium, of ill health coming, well, to concentrate in the right spirit is to concentrate in an inner calm, a trust in the divine grace, and a will to remain in physical equilibrium and in good health. This is the right spirit. In another case, one may feel a wave of anger or a fit of temper coming from outside, then one should withdraw into an inner calm, a detachment from superficial things with a will to express oneself only what comes from above, and always be submissive to the divine's will. This is the right spirit. And in each case, it is something like that. Naturally, it always comes back to the same thing, that one must remember the divine, put oneself at his service, and will what he wills. But in one case, you may want the calm, in the other, you may want the force, in another, still, you may want health. In another, something which resists the pressure from outside. A Divine Mother says, when one is perplexed, when one has to make a choice, when one does not know what the right thing to do is, you see, one has to choose among two or three or four possible decisions and doesn't know which is the right one. Then one must put oneself as far as possible in contact with one's psychic being and the divine presence in one, present the problem to this psychic consciousness and ask for the true light, the true decision. The one must, in accordance with the divine will, and try to listen and receive the inspiration. In each case, you see, it is the right attitude. Question, sweet mother. Here Sri Aurobindo says the difficulty faced in the right spirit and conquered, one finds that an obstacle has disappeared. What is the right spirit? For this, our Divine Mother says, I was expecting this question. The right spirit means what he has explained in the following sentence: to keep one's trust, to remain quiet, wait patiently for the attack to pass, keep one's trust. In any case, the right spirit means not to lose courage, not to lose one's faith, not to be impatient, not to be depressed, to remain very quiet and peaceful with as much aspiration as one can have and not worry about what is happening. To have the certitude that this will pass, all will be well. This indeed is the best thing, says our Divine Mother. And Lord Sri Aurobindo says, everything depends on the inner attitude. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says a sadhak should always remember that everything depends on the inner attitude. If he has a perfect faith in the divine grace, he will find that the divine grace will make him do the right thing at every step. But for things to happen like that, you must have a deeply rooted faith pervading your whole being, contradicted by no other movement in you. And it is naturally very difficult. Also, you can have the faith for yourself, but there are others around you who do not share in your attitude. Even so, you must bear in your mind that it is only our inner attitude and faith that counts. All external means nothing. They may prove to be absolute useless and come to nothing. It is only the divine grace that alone protects you, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Our Divine Mother talks about the right attitude and says, is it really the best that always happens? It is clear that all that has happened had to happen. It could not be otherwise. By the universal determinism, it had to happen. But we can say so only after it happened, not before. For the problem of the very best that can happen is an individual problem. Whether the individual be a nation or a human being, a single person, all depends on the personal attitude. Our Divine Mother says, if in the present circumstances that are about to take place, you can take the highest attitude possible. That is, if you put your consciousness in contact with the higher consciousness within your reach, you can be absolutely sure that in that case it is the best that can happen to you. But as soon as you fall from this consciousness into a lower state, then it is evidently not the best that can happen for the simple reason that you are not in your very best consciousness. I even go so far to affirm that in the zone of immediate influence of each one, the right attitude not only has the power to turn every circumstance to advantage, but can change the very circumstance itself. Our Divine Mother says, The right attitude and the full consciousness of the divine presence everywhere around you will be able to help you a lot. This truth is just the key to the whole problem of transformation. Always keep in touch with the divine presence, try to bring it down, and the very best will always take place. Of course, the world will not change at once, but it will go forward as rapidly as it is possibly can. Do not forget that this is so only if you keep on the straight road of yoga, of integral yoga, and not if you deviate, lose your way, and wander about capriciously or helplessly as though in a virgin forest. If each of you do your utmost, then there would be the right collaboration, the result would be so much quicker. I have had innumerable examples of the power of right attitude. I have seen crowds saved from catastrophes by one single person keeping the right attitude. But it must be an attitude that does not remain somewhere very high and leaves the body to its usual reactions. If you remain high up like that and say, let God's will be done, your body may be quite undivine, shivering with fear. The thing is to hold the true consciousness in the body itself and not have the least fear and be full of the divine peace. Then indeed there is no danger. Not only can anyone attack, but bees also, even the elements can be affected. I can give you a little example. You remember the night of the great cyclone when there was a tremendous noise and splash of rain all about the place? I thought I would go to Sri Aurobindo's room and help him shut the windows. I just opened his door and found him sitting quietly at his desk writing. There was such a solid peace in the room that nobody would have dreamed that a cyclone was raging outside. All the windows were wide open. Not a drop of rain was coming inside, says our Divine Mother. To walk through life armored against all fear, peril, and disaster, only two things are needed that go always together: the grace of the Divine Mother, and on your side, an inner state made up of faith, sincerity, and surrender. Let your faith be pure, candid, and perfect. An egoistic faith in the mental and vital being tainted by ambition, pride, and vanity, mental arrogance, vital self will, personal demand, and desire for petty satisfactions of the lower nature is a low and smoke obscured flame that cannot burn up to heaven. A Divine Mother says faith is the soul's witness to something not yet manifested, achieved, or realized, but which yet the knower within us, even in the absence of all indications, feels to be true and supremely worth following or achieving. This thing within us can last even when there is no fixed belief in the mind, even when the vital struggles and revolts and refuses. Our Divine Mother says to aspire is indispensable, but some people aspire with such a conflict inside between faith and absence of faith, trust and distrust, between optimism, which is sure of victory, and pessimism, which asks itself when the catastrophe will come. Now, if this is in the being, you may aspire, but you don't get anything. Well, when one aspires for the force, when one asks the divine for help, if one asks with the unshakable certitude that it will come, that it is impossible that it won't, then it is sure to come. It is this kind, this is truly an inner opening, this trustfulness. And some people are constantly in this state. When there is something to be received, they are always there to receive it. When there are others, where the something is given, a forced descent, they are always absent. They are always closed in that moment, while those who are like this childlike trust are always there at the right time, says our Divine Mother.